You remember me talking about how frustrating it is that Malayalam cinema is actually casting young people for young roles, if you look at Premalu and Avesham, while Hindi cinema keeps on telling us that there's young and budding talent while they're talking about people in their mid 30s and 40s. This is a movie that has heavily invested, commercially backed the film with a 25-year-old that most people don't know. And it's opened better than the stars who ask for whopping prices and still can't guarantee anything in return. This weekend was such a breath of fresh air as we saw Maddock Films fully back a movie like a commercial release with Abhay Varma, a 25-year-old as the lead doing most of the heavy lifting. The movie, directed by Marathi director Aditya Sarpodar, whose movies I would definitely recommend, this is just another example of Marathi directors killing it with their breaks in Hindi cinema, has opened the box office better than most movies starring big leads. I've come to realize that the Indian audience has a huge appetite for horror films, so much so that they are willing to even give a chance to terrible ones too. I've been sitting week in and week out for horror movies in India on opening weekends, and even for boring films like Nun 2 and Insidious Red Door, these have been packed theatres. So when I keep on talking about how Hindi cinema should invest in spooky stories, a land full of folklore, spirits and mystery that is heavily untapped, Munjya and the way it has opened should tell Indian producers that the audience loves it when something new is attempted, especially in the horror genre. Munjya focuses on the story of Bittu, played by Abhay Varma, who is living with his mother, played by Mona Singh, and his Ajji, played by Suhas Joshi in Pune. Curious about his roots and a family secret about his lineage, circumstances lead to the vengeful spirit of Munjya escaping the shackles of the tree he was trapped in. Munjya's obsession with his lover that he could not marry leads to Bittu and his friends ensuring that he reunites with his lost love, and also so that his horny ass can calm down. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch Munjya in theaters or not. The underwhelming aspects: flat last act and screenplay issues. There are many instances in the second half of the film where you will feel as the film halts its brilliant progression of events. The film has the ability to suck you in from its first frame as it immediately introduces you to the legend of Munjya, the seed that led to the creation of this monster. This eerie and spooky introduction to the world in the 1950s and the Konkan Coast is exactly what the Hindi audience is craving for directors and writers to tap into stories that have been passed through generations. So when the film provides a great balance of the mysticism of the past and the contemporary comedy among the friend group in the present, the film in its second half takes odd turns with an awkward friend zone and romantic dynamic between Bittu and Bela, played by Sharvari. This includes a random song as Bittu daydreams that had no business being in the second half, while Munjya and his torment has reached at an all-time high. The romance probably turns out to become the biggest distraction in this film's storyline. The film toys with the idea also of angels and demons coexisting in the same world, and this is a concept that should have been fleshed out better rather than just being a plot of convenience that aids the hero. The final act essentially becomes a shouting match, a case of ghosts running around, shouting and toppling in every direction possible, and the decibel level of the film reaches a screeching point where the comedy is abandoned and one just deals with these shouting ghosts being put to rest. This is in contrast to the best film of the Maddock supernatural universe, Stree, which even at the height of its climax while dealing with the supernatural figure, integrated such hilarious lines. I will never forget Rajkumar trying to impersonate Shah Rukh Khan while trying to romance the ghost. The tethering the thin line between gags and still being spooky is so tricky, and I feel like Stree did it the best. The good. Sound design, BGM and cinematography. In an era where movies are made in whopping budgets and you can literally not see it in the frames, Munjya with its limited resources actually looks like a film for the big screen. Especially the sequences set in the village that captures the wide landscape of the Konkan Coast, it perfectly acts as the stage for the spooky turn of events. I was thoroughly impressed by the sound design and background score of this film. Assisted brilliantly by cinematographer Saurabh Goswami, the cold open of this film to showcase the birth of Munjya really really gets the ball rolling. Let's be honest, from a storytelling POV though, Sachin Jigar's music has no business being in this film. I understand Sharvari dancing to Taras is nothing but promotional material for the film, but when the movie ended and we saw Sharvari doing a solo dance as the credits rolled, it seemed to be from a completely different movie and so forced. The score reminds me of what Sushin Shyam executed with Anjam Patara. What's crazy is that while the ghost is literally all CGI, he still has the ability to slightly startle you, and it's a combination of the score and the cinematography that makes even a horny little ghost like Munjya to have some kind of an eerie presence. Brilliant talent. I absolutely love the fact that Maddock invests on young talent and backs a film like this fully. I was in a semi-packed theatre on a Friday, and it's so heartening that the audience literally is heading for a film that is not dictated by star faces. Taranjot Singh playing the role of Spielberg, Bittu's best friend and a videographer, is probably the smoothest transition I have seen of an influencer with a mainstream film. Taranjot delivers the most hilarious lines of the movie, having a comic timing and screen presence that is meant for the movies. When he thought Bittu ne Maggie mein maal to nahi mila diya while learning about Munjya, the crowd burst out laughing. I just hope he doesn't get typecast as a token friend in films, a problem so many actors have to deal with in the long run. I loved the fiery presence of Mona Singh as the Punjabi mother, Suhas Joshi as Bittu's grandmother, having that maternal and warm presence ideal for such a role. A ride or die grandmom who shares some of the most heartfelt moments with Bittu in this film. Satyaraj plays a godman in this movie, and while the role has comedic gags that are somewhat of a hit and a miss, I would have loved if someone like Saif Ali Khan played such a wacky character. Something we saw him do so effortlessly with an insane character like Boris in Go Goa Gone. Richard Lovett plays the role of Kuba, Bella's romantic partner, and even in the brief moments in the film, you can't help but absolutely lose it whenever he speaks in Hindi. I felt bad for the poor guy trying so hard to impress the girl. Abhay Varma is a standout, having the innocence, awkwardness and boyish charm required for the role. Whoever wrote the dialogues of Munjya also killed it, by the way. His twisted mind to try and put a baby in the washing machine or constantly ogle at Bella just gives the vibe of a naughty teenager versus a ghost. You want to slap him for his antics and this childish behavior, and it generates many comedy of errors. I again say this, it's so refreshing to see a production company back an actor like him on a commercial project, a 25-year-old Abhay Varma, and he does shine in several instances. Folklore and the potential. The blend of these scary tales told across generations generate a beautiful concoction of demons, customs, traditions that, especially if integrated in the current world, can generate compelling stories. I remember during the pandemic we were talking about this on the channel, on how every state has stories that have been passed to every generation, of vengeful demons, of a blend of history and folklore specific to the state and its people that can translate into such compelling tales. I like that Maddock through its universe is attempting the same. It's not just fluff for the purpose of cashing in on the horror genre, but to actually blend in historical mysterious tales that transform into entertaining rides. Munjya, let's be honest, has several problems. It's nowhere close to being the perfect package. It has so many abrupt halts in its screenplay, and the final act does test your patience. But it's the idea of a small movie with no stars and a CGI ghost that still integrates elements, formulating into a far more interesting and entertaining ride than several films that could not do the same with 10 times the resources and stars that feel that they are worthy of a price tag they don't guarantee in returns. A fun ride at the movies despite its bumps along the way, Munjya becomes another edition that you should sit for, only for the big screen, even for the surprise as the end credits start rolling. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Munjya. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.